So, I recently finished a campaign with one of my friends, and I played a Wild Magic Sorcerer. And during the time, I had a few problems. In that campaign, it felt like being a Wild Magic Sorcerer was more of a crux than actually help. My class just kind of felt useless except for the meta magic abilities. But today, we're gonna change that, shall we? Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tales of Octavia YouTube channel. My name is Francis, I'm a dungeon master and a Twitch streamer, and I guess a game designer now, because today's video is about how I redesigned the Wild Magic Sorcerer. And this is a kind of a response to my character in my friend's campaign. I ran into a lot of problems. The first thing is that Wild Magic, yes, it was wild in the sense of when it would trigger, but it felt like it kind of just happened. Like, the randomness was so low, and the fact that the wild magic never really happened because you have to roll a 1 on a d20 when the DM calls for wild magic. The second thing is that it felt like the abilities of the Wild Magic Sorcerer didn't really make any sense for wild magic, because when it came to those abilities, things like Bend Luck, where you can use 2 sorcery points to roll a d4 and let it be a plus or a minus. It's good, I guess, but like when you're in the higher levels, a d4 doesn't really mean much, so that ability kind of is wasted. And then you're kind of stuck until level 14, where you can re-roll on the wild magic table. So my point that I'm trying to make is this is supposed to change all that. So let's just swipe over here to the computer. Okay, so the first things first is when you open that document, you will receive this. This is version 1. And so yes, the subclass is not playtested. I'm actually in the process of playtesting this right now for the current Tales of Octavia campaign. Greg will be my guinea pig, and I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday being our game, so check that out if you haven't already. So the first things first, Wild Magic Surge. And the Wild Magic Surge is basically the same. However, okay, at level 6, your Wild Magic will occur on a 4 or lower, and at level 12, this will occur when you roll an 8 or lower. So as you level up, because the Wild Magic table has so many good things about it, you will actually be able to trigger it more, which is fantastic for the sorcerer, because yes, you don't know what ability is going to happen, but something will happen, and it makes that more proactive. Now, Tides of Chaos is basically the same. It's meant to trigger your wild magic ability, but at level 6 though, okay, not only will your wild magic occur at a 4 or lower, but you receive a fun thing called Ultimate Chaos Companion, where at level 6 you have mastered chaos and entropy has become second nature to you. You can actually take your chaos, your entropy, and make your enemies suffer. It is like Bend Luck, where you have to spend sorcery points, but at a certain point, you can use your reaction to have them roll for wild magic using your Wild Magic Surge. So essentially, you can actually spend sorcery points to have them roll on the wild magic table. Now, this creates a very interesting predicament, because now you have the possibility of buffing your opponent by accident or debuffing them. But Francis, you're crazy, because if you look at the Wild Magic table in the player's handbook, most of the stuff is good. True. Which is why at 10th level, you have Limitless Entropy Surge, where now your number of magical effects have doubled. Before, in the vanilla 5e handbook, you have 50 options. Now you have 100. I was working this a little bit with Greg, and I showed him some of the stuff, and he is delighted because a lot of the stuff that we've come up with is borderline situational. You can have these things occur and it's a good thing, and then some of the things that can occur could be a bad thing. And that's kind of what I wanted to aim for, especially with a more focus on pushing that chaos on somebody else. Your Wild Magic search table has completely changed. You have brand new abilities, and now the chaotic to beneficial effects that were on the previous table now have expanded and rebalanced. And hopefully maybe in a second cut we will change some of those, or maybe add some more. I'm not going to go over it because there's 100 effects and 50 brand new effects, and that's kind of boring. So just check it out in the Discord down below, and you can see all the craziness and shenanigans. But at 14th level, you still have controlled chaos. What's great about this is that it stacks with Ultimate Chaos Companion. So if you make your opponent roll on the Wild Magic table, and they have two options, the good or the bad, you could actually choose the bad. And finally, we have Rumbles of Entropy, where at 18th level, you become one with the chaos. And whenever you have a short rest, you have expanded spell slot conversion, which may or may not break the game. I don't know, because when you reach 18th level, things become a little bit crazy. You know, you're fighting gods and planetars, not, you know, goblins or kobolds. But essentially, at 6th level, 7th and 8th, you would spend 9 sorcery points to get a 6th level spell slot, 10 at 7, or 10 sorcery points for a 7th level, and an 11 point cost for an 8th level spell slot. The reason why I did this is because there comes a point in the game where you've reached high of a level to where your sorcery points don't really make any difference, because you can only have up to a 5th level spell slot. So by adding this point, when you are high leveled, you can actually fight gods and demons and all that jazz with all of these sorcery points that you gained. And eventually, let's say you're level 20 and you also gain the sorcerer ability where on a short rest you gain sorcery points, you can actually make these spell slots happen. And if you didn't know, your sorcery points are equal to your level. So I think the sorcery point cost is actually high enough to where it is actually risky to take said spell slots, because sometimes things just don't work out. And you know, we'll playtest it and then come back to it in a few weeks. Final thoughts. The point of this class was to make Wild Magic more accessible. And I believe, personally, philosophically, I don't know, that if you are playing a Wild Magic Sorcerer, you should want to roll on the Wild Magic table. You know, it shouldn't be just a D20, what is 1 out of 20? What is that, 5% chance? It is not beneficial at all to just let the Wild Magic table be random for the sake of random. And I think these changes to Sorcerer will actually make the class much more fun and have more shenanigans in your D&D games. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this, my fun little redesign. I hope that you understand some of my thought process of this. Like I said before many times in this video, if you want to download this video, get it on the Discord server under sources, under free D&D content, and let me know how it is in your game. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. So. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Rex, come here.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna pick you up and just like hug you like we hugged for warmth.
Ah.